Hello everyone, and I know you're expecting Dark Souls 3 last week. Honestly, I just kind of forgot. And in an effort not to screw anybody else over, because I just did a recording session with co-op, and then my screen just kind of just went out. Had to restart my computer. Seems to be working fine now, but that poor guy was left with the final boss with buffed health. It was either that or fight with a black screen where I couldn't see anything quite literally, but I decided that was the better of the two. But today we're going to be going over the hunting horn because, like, nobody ever uses this weapon that I've seen. I've only seen one other hunting horn in the wild. That is to say, not within my group of, general, regulars. So, because a lot of people apparently think this weapon is either too slow, or doesn't hit hard enough, or it's just a buff bot weapon, it's just for pussies. I'm going to tell you right now, that is completely erroneous and completely stupid if you believe that. Okay, so this thing doesn't have any defense. This is pretty much the target dummy if you're a World of Warcraft veteran. So I'm going over the basics of the thing, the basics of the weapon, so you can kind of learn, maybe try and get used to it. It takes a while to get used to. So in the top right of your screen, you see some notes, and then to the left of that, you see the songs. Pretty easy, really. But for the sake of it, alright. We'll, just go over how to perform, because that's one of the big things. So now that you've got your song done, I'll go over how I did the jabs in a minute, because they're pretty important. Most people, like, if you're a corner horner, don't be a corner horner. A lot of people think, oh, I'll just sit in the corner and give buffs to everybody. That'll help. No, you're not helping much. You might be helping as far as stats go, but you're doing no damage, which is a no-no. So now that you know not to do that, how do you perform? Well, there's multiple ways you can perform. You can either do it when you're sheathed or when your weapon is in fact out. I prefer, well, it doesn't really matter now because I don't have my crit draw thing, but when I had crit draw, I actually preferred to do it this way because you got a big crit right off, but it wasn't really good for this build. Anyway, R2. If you just don't push anything in R2, that's what you get. Okay, you play the song, you did some decent damage. Alright. So, what about those big encores I keep hearing about? Alright, we'll get into that here in a second. Encores. Now, before we get into encores, we need to go over different things you can do. Now, the first song you should put off, not defense, is the self-improvement. Now, if you hold forward toward whatever you're aiming at, you'll notice you do a different animation. And there's only the two from the first thing. Now, if you have a song queued up, for example, if I do this, and then I use another attack and then hit R2 after that. Actually, that was not what I intended to do. Well, let me try that again. I've never had that. Oh, you have to hold forward when you do that. I never knew that. See, I'm learning things too. I'm still a novice myself. But okay, let's go over the jabbing thing, because that's kind of important. Also, I hope you know how to hit triangle and circle at the same time, because if you don't, you're going to have a hell of a time. Because that's usually fairly important. So let's get another song here. Now, if you see the blue up there, it means circle. If you just hit forward while hitting circle, you do, I think, a double attack. Now, if you time it right during the double attack, you can hit any other button. It'll give you an instantly free note. I'm going to try it. I've only done it a couple times because I just learned about it. That didn't work. Let me try that again. Damn it, I've had that work before, but I'm not used to the timing yet. There we go. There we go. The timing's a little fussy. Okay, so we got the basics on adding a free thing, though it's you gotta work on the timing a little bit. Okay, so what else do I need to know? Well, what else you need to know is this weapon has a lot of choices on how you want to do your performances. For example, we could do the old and then hit backwards in R2. Obviously, you gotta learn how to move and do all this. You could hit, well, I think you can do left and right. Let me try it here. Left and R2. Yep, you can go left and R2. You can go right and R2. You do different sets for every little song. Let me try it again, show you what right looks like. And you just kind of do the same thing. You just kind of move right. Okay, now we got basics of performing. What about encores? Well, encores are where the meat and potatoes of your damage is going to be coming from. So let's load up a song here. We'll get the defense again. This is not the most optimal way of doing this, for the record, but I'm just doing this because yeah. Okay, so encores. Kind of the same as performances. Let's say you start your performance and you hit forward in R2 after the little white buff thing occurs, you get the full encore. Now, if you hit R2 before the white little buff thing comes up, you do a neutered version where you hit, I think, one less time. I'll show you that here. It has its time and its place in certain fights, depending. But let's just go as soon as it can. Show you the difference. See, not as much damage, but that was a good 150 damage right there. Now, obviously, you don't want to be spamming self-improvement. You want to be using the other nodes as well. So now that we've got the basics on performances and encores, because, you know, that's basically all you need to know, you just practice with it, is how to do the jabbing maneuver. It's not that difficult. Say, for example, I wanted to do stamina use reduced. And then back, that's actually the wrong one. Good, I forgot my own notes. And then hit back in the combination, and then circle, and then back in the combination, or you could have used the other trick right there. You do a little jab attack. Good thing to note, that little jabby attack does do cutting damage, so you can cut tails off. It's probably not going to happen, but you can do it. Generally speaking, you should be aiming at the thing's head. But yeah, other than that, it's, well, as you see, kind of the way it is. This is how the hunting horn works. There's 4 directions in every one of them. And my personal favorite is the back attack. I'll show you that here, because it's really nice if you can get the positioning, and it's actually not that hard to get the positioning if you do it. Because you kind of retreat and hit above you, and well, it's really quite fun to play. It's hard to get the timing and the placement right, but when you do and you knock things out, plus you're giving buffs to everybody, including yourself. So I don't understand why people don't like this thing. You can do lots of damage with it. Now, granted, it's no big 600 true charge of my greatsword. Okay, I'll give you that one, but you know, this thing can knock things out. It's the king of stamina drain, meaning if you hit things in the head long enough, they'll just kind of stand there grunting and drooling all over themselves. Again, really good, especially if you got the attack and the, you know, the stamina use reduced rocking at the same time. People can do loads of damage. Maybe not all me, but the team as a whole will do much more damage. Now, seeing as I'm wheezing now because my chest cold has taken a turn for the worse and I got a doctor's appointment early next week, I'm going to go and try not to exert myself too much. But this was kind of a basic little tutorial. It's not by any means probably good, but this is how I play the hunting horn, and this is kind of in a hurry because I didn't really want to try and play Dark Souls for like an hour tonight. Oh, that was nasty. Just mucus all up in my mouth now. Oh, shit. Okay, well, anyway, before I end up vomiting on camera, I guess I'll call it a day today. Hopefully, you guys learned something with the hunting horn, but go ahead. I'm just going to tell you the practice is the best thing here. Not in the training area. Go out and go into some SOSs. People will love you. I don't care how bad you are, as long as you're not a corner horner. People will love you with the horn. Just try not to die. The hardest part, you actually seem like you need more, well, time to get your encore off than, say, a greatsword. I never thought I would say those words, but the encores do take forever. You can also slightly move when you are in the middle of an encore. Not much, but you can in fact move just a tiny little bit. So basically, hunting horn, all about timing, and funny enough, rhythm of the fight. Who would have thought? Instrument, you need timing and rhythm. No way, I hear you cry. Well, you do. Anyway, before I start wheezing even louder, I'm going to go and drink some water and try not to exert myself so I can get ready for my doctor's appointment. I guess that's, well, I wrote it down on the calendar up there so I wouldn't forget, but I forgot by now. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully you learned something. And happy hunting horn hunting, I guess. Yes, I think that made sense. Anyway, later everyone.